What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over the best loot spots in Chapter 3 Season 2 that will have you getting really easy wins. If you guys do enjoy this video or find it helpful, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and if you want to follow me on Twitch, it will be linked down in the description below. I stream Fortnite pretty much every single day on Twitch. So the first thing that we're going to be really looking at when it comes to these loot spots is shockwave grenades. I think shockwave grenades are one of the most important, if not the most important things in Chapter 3 Season 2. So we're going to be going to spots where you can pretty much guarantee that you can get shockwaves because there's NPCs that sell them. With the no building mode, shockwaves are the most important thing in the game. If you're in a spot where you get caught off and you're probably going to lose the fight, you can use shockwaves to save yourself. If endgame zone goes in a spot that doesn't really benefit you, you can use shockwaves to rotate. If you beam somebody and get them weak, you can use shockwaves to close the gap in ways that you really can't without builds. It's really awkward to play the game without builds. If you're in a spot where terrain is really griefing you, like let's say it goes up a hill, you can use shockwaves to save yourself, or like get to zone if you need to, or get where you need to get. If you're fighting a tank, shockwaves are also paramount, and I know tanks are like one of the biggest problems that people have this season, or dealing with tanks is one of the biggest problems that people have. So I think it's super important that you go somewhere where you can get shockwaves consistently, and there are several POIs that are also good spots to land where there's NPCs that sell shockwaves, so you can guarantee you get them. We're going to start off with Sanctuary. I feel like this is a spot that a lot of people overlook because you can no longer get the mythic MK7. So a lot of people just write this spot off completely because, like, why would you want to go there if you can't get the mythic? I feel like a lot of people are also turned off because it's kind of an awkward spot to build in. But since there isn't building in the game currently, that problem just, like, literally doesn't exist. So Sanctuary is a really good spot. The Foundation sells shockwaves. He usually spawns in the main like center building or outside of it, and you can buy shockwaves from him. Shockwaves are about 30 gold regardless of which NPC you go to. And Sanctuary also has a good amount of loot. So not only can you get guaranteed shockwaves, you're probably going to be able to loot some and obviously leave with high quality loot, like a good assault rifle, good SMG, good assault rifle, or good shotgun, and extra heals as well. So I think Sanctuary is one of the best spots in the game currently, and if all I was caring about was wins, it would be a spot that I was going to pretty consistently. I think Sanctuary is really good. It also has good rotation. There's a cannon on the outskirts of it. There's also a lot of coolers near that cannon where you can pretty much always get a good amount of splashes, and splashes are like the premier healing item in the game, especially right now. You can't build to protect yourself to buy time to heal, so having the instant heal of flashes or splashes is like really effective. So Sanctuary is my number one spot for Chapter 3 Season 2 wins. Incredibly underrated, and I really do not know why. The next spot we're going to talk about is going to be Synapse. This is a new location that they added at the bottom of the map, and I feel like this being a new location, a lot of people don't even know about it. But like Sanctuary, the scientist at this POI will sell shockwaves, and you will be able to reliably get shockwaves. And like I said at the start of the video, I think shockwaves are the biggest deal in Chapter 2 Season 3. If you find yourself struggling to win games in Chapter 2 Season 3 and you're not carrying shockwaves, start landing at these places, getting shockwaves, and you will start winning games consistently. Most likely, they're just incredibly overpowered in the game right now without building. So I think Synapse is really good. Not only does it have shockwaves, it has a good amount of loot. It's usually not contested too hard, and if you are someone who's just caring about winning, then not getting fought off spawn is pretty nice. And there's also rifts around the backside of it, which are really nice as well for rotation. Since this is an edge spot on the map, you can kind of get screwed with zones sometimes, but there being rifts here pretty much guarantees you're always going to be able to rotate and not really have to worry about rotating at all. It's especially good because I don't really like the desert biome, and I especially don't like the desert biome without building, but you can use the rifts to basically ignore the fact that this POI is in the desert. And so yeah, guaranteed rifts, guaranteed shockwaves, a good amount of loot, rarely contested. I think Synapse is really good, and it's a really like undervalued location. I haven't really seen anybody talking about it or mentioning it at all when they talk about like spots where they like to land. So I would definitely recommend trying out Synapse. And then the next spot I'm going to talk about is a little different. It's Jones's, and this place has a good amount of loot. It's oftentimes not hit too hard. It used to be hit a decent amount last season. It would be like regularly contested, but without Spideys, I feel like there's less and less people coming here. And this POI does also have an NPC that sells shockwaves, but he's not here all the time for whatever reason. The Aerobics Jonesy will sell shockwaves, but he doesn't spawn every single game. Also, the Brainiac NPC can spawn here, and he also sells shockwaves, but he can spawn pretty much anywhere in the jungle biome for whatever reason. He kind of like roams around. So sometimes he'll be out Jones's, sometimes he'll be at the outskirts of it, sometimes he'll be closer to Sanctuary, and sometimes he'll be like on the extreme edge of the map near like the beach houses. Like the Brainiac guy roams around a lot, and relying on him is not the best. And then same thing with the aerobics guy. He's not always there. So if neither of those NPCs are there for you to buy shockwaves from, and you don't get shockwaves from looting the POI, you'll probably be able to run to Sanctuary, and the Foundation is 100% spawn rate. He's in every single game, and you'll be able to buy shockwaves from him like we were talking about before, with the Sanctuary being a good POI to land for shockwaves. So those are my top 3 locations in Chapter 2, Season 3, Synapse, Sanctuary, and Jones's. I really like Jones's. I did last season, and the fact that you can get shockwaves there is nice, but they're not always spawning, so you might have to go to Sanctuary. A lot of people have been hyping Command Center this season because you can get the mythics there, and I wanted to talk about it in this video because I don't think it's that good. It is true that you can get the mythics there, but I feel like these spots are going to be way more contested than the other 3 I just named. You're not necessarily guaranteed shockwaves, and I personally think shockwaves are more important than any of the mythics that are in the game currently. Like, yes, the mythics are good, but they're not so overpowered that you need to play around them entirely like some mythics that we've seen in the past. They're just okay, and they're not even guaranteed because you have to fight the IO, and you have to fight the boss character, and you have to fight the people that land there. There's just a lot more like complication with landing at those places and trying to get the mythics than just landing at the places that I named, buying guaranteed shockwaves, and then getting like decent loot as well. If you want to go Command Center, it can work, but if all you're concerned about is getting easy wins, I would either go to Sanctuary, Synapse, or Jones's and have like a more reliable early game and like the guaranteed shockwaves, which will help you get to the late game and ultimately win the match. If you guys found this video helpful or informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, comment down below if you think there's any really underrated spots that I missed, and if you want to watch me live on Twitch, it is linked down in the description like I said before. Thanks for watching.